If you run an e-commerce store and you're still not hitting 7 figures in revenue, then this video might be the exact blueprint you have been missing. I'm going to show you the exact setup we used to generate more than $5.5 million in 10 months with only $300,000 spent on ads. That is a ROAS of 16. We see it all the time. Businesses running a few generic campaigns and wondering why they're not scaling. In this video, I'll walk you through the structure, setup, and the strategy we use to scale this brand. I'll show you behind the scenes and how you can do the same to scale your brand. Here is the proof. We have the Google dashboard here from 1st October 2024 until 31 of July 2025. We onboarded them back in October, so this is the last 10 months. We spent 2.2 million Danish kroner on ads, which is like $330,000 in advertising spend. We generated 35,494,000 Danish kroner in revenue, which is like $5.5 million in revenue. You can do the calculations yourself if you want to. A ROAS of 16.05. And if you just do a quick refresh, you can see the numbers are the same here. Let's just do a quick refresh because I know some people are not right with results. So here you can see all the results again. And if we go back, let's just take, for example, the month of June here. We can see we generated 2.7 million Danish kroner in revenue, 172 spent, ROAS of almost 15.99. If we go back to, for example, May was a pretty good month here where we hit some good numbers. Here we spent 254,000 Danish kroner on ads, 4.4 million Danish kroner in revenue, and a ROAS of 17. And these results are not just one-off Black Friday results. These are consistent month after month. That's why I'm showing you 10 months of results today, so you can see that this is what we're doing consistently for some of our clients, some of our bigger clients. And now I'm going to show you exactly how we're able to get results like this and the strategy behind it. And before going into the strategy, you can right now apply for a free Google Ads consultation and a free Google Ads audit by clicking the link down below. If you match our criteria, then we'll get back to you with a free consultation and a free Google Ads audit. But let's get into the strategy and talk about how we're scaling brands like this, how we're doing it. Here is the thing. Most e-commerce brands we audit, they're running way too few campaigns, maybe a couple of performance max campaigns, a broad search campaign, and that's it. No structure, no segmentation, and absolutely no control when it comes time to scale. But I'm not here to call people out and tell you everything you're doing is wrong. I want to give you value. So I'll walk you through how we structured this account to generate millions and hit a ROAS of 16 and still be in full control of the account. The biggest reason why we're able to scale like this is segmentation, a very important word for us. Over this 10-month period, we have run 98 different campaigns. Yeah, that's 98 active campaigns we have had over this period. Some of them are paused now. We have around 14 active, but over time we constantly test out different campaigns. We launch new ones, pause campaigns. All of this is based on seasonality, trends, and performance shifts. Why? Because when something starts working, a keyword, a product, a category, we want to push it hard and we want to push it in its own campaign so we have maximum control over it. If we have a new couple of good selling products, then we want to push it as hard as possible. We have a rule of thumb that we use. We segment as much as possible while we're still getting at least 30 conversions per campaign per 30 days. Ideally, we want 50 conversions plus in 30 days because this gives us enough data to scale with ROAS confidently. 30 conversions can work, but ideally we want 50 conversions. So we segment as much as we can, but we need these conversions. Let's say one campaign, for example, has 200 conversions. This is a signal to split it into smaller campaigns so we can scale each campaign individually. What happens if you don't do it? You raise budgets, nothing happens. You just end up paying more per click, get the same amount of traffic, and hit the same search impression share. You're just paying more per click. Maybe you already maxed out for the search impression share for these keywords. You don't have control really on what gets spent on this budget. Maybe you just start spending the extra budget here on shitty keywords in the campaign. But when we split it out by product, category, keyword intent, or even city, we get control over it. We maintain CPC, raise budgets selectively, and actually see real growth. We know what we are scaling. We know what we're working with. It's easier for us to work with it when we segment it into different campaigns. We have an example, for example, of a location split, which is very unusual in Google Ads, unless it's like different countries. So that's pretty normal. But it's very unusual. I see accounts where they split in different cities, for example, but we sometimes even segment cities when it makes sense. For example, if we have a specific region in Denmark, for example, this is Denmark, the account here, it could also be Germany or Wales, which is driving a lot of sales. We'll create a separate campaign for just that area. Or if we have some areas which are not getting any sales at all. And the reason for this is, for example, I can give you one example here, because people in big cities, they already expect fast delivery. It's a USP that is normal. Like, it's not really a good USP here. Like, they expect to have 1-2 days delivery and it's to be very, very quick. So it's not as good here in like a big city. They're already expecting it. But if they live out where the shipping is normally very, very slow, they're expected to have 2, 3, 4 days shipping, then suddenly it's a much better USP. I know it's a little bit different here, but that could be an example where like shipping is different and then we want to focus more on that. Or if it's a city which has a lower trust, for example, then we want to push more on trust. Or if it's, for example, a city with a lot of more old people, then with the images and creatives we are pushing there, we want to have more old people. Not because we do this often with city, but this is just an example. If we really have something which is working or something which is not working at all, then we can segment it into a new campaign and try with completely different messaging and completely change up the messaging and see how much that can actually affect the performance. Also, the keywords can be really, really different from what is performing in one city to another city, especially if we take big cities compared to people who live far, far away from the city. And this level of controls adds up fast for when you want to scale and get good performance on Google Ads. Another massive gap we see is most e-commerce brands are only running bottom funnel campaigns, especially on Google. On Meta, we often see the same where they're just trying buy now, buy now, buy now. Here on Google, we see most e-commerce brands bottom funnel campaigns, some middle campaigns, middle funnel also as well. But mostly bottom, which is like search, shopping, performance max, and that's it. But we built full funnel systems. We use top of funnel campaigns, especially YouTube, to warm people up, build demand, and create also branded search volume. We often see big increases in the branded search volume when we're running our YouTube campaigns and we are scaling them. Sometimes we might not see good performance on our YouTube campaign. We have a terrible ROAS, but we also look a lot of the overall performance, of course, and the branded search volume, very important here when you're running top funnel campaigns. We run broad search campaigns as well with no intention of getting a perfect ROAS. They're not here to convert. They're here to fill the pipeline with very broad keywords. Just want a lot of clicks. Sometimes we also maybe have a ROAS target, which is maybe like 50% lower than other campaigns. Or we're just bidding for clicks and looking at our volume in brand campaigns. Do we get more searches here on our brand? Do our other campaigns perform better? Our bottom funnel campaigns perform better? Then it's our top campaigns are performing. What a lot of Google people are doing is they're only looking at the ROAS for the campaign. They're just saying, oh, we have a ROAS of 4, the other one has a ROAS of 6. Let's turn off the campaign with a ROAS of 4 and put the budget into the campaign with a ROAS of 6. Then they do this, and then the campaign with a ROAS of 6 just drops in performance. One of the reasons is because you just removed your whole top funnel. Now this campaign is performing at a ROAS of 3. So before you turn something off, know what kind of intention there is behind this campaign. If it is a top funnel campaign, then expect to have a lower ROAS and expect that this campaign is driving performance on the other campaigns. Look at your brand volume. When you increase budget on a top funnel campaign, do you see more branded searches? So you cannot always track top funnel one-to-one, but you'll feel the impact if you're looking at the full picture. Another thing is performance max. This is a thing which so many accounts are using. We also use it, but we use it much different than other brands. Like most brands just relying on performance max, completely over reliant on it. And the moment they try to scale it, everything like almost breaks, doesn't like really break. They just end up paying more per click, or they end up buying shitty traffic with display ads, or like just poor traffic here. We treat performance max different. We treat it like an evergreen background engine. We rarely touch budgets or ROAS targets once it's stable on performance max, and we only run it with 10 to 20% of the total budget. We of course change up some messaging, we change up some images, but we don't try to scale it, change up the budgets too much, ROAS, like we keep it very the same pretty much all the time. When we want to scale, we want to do it through search and shopping and also YouTube with top funnel traffic, because with these campaigns we have much more control. We know where the traffic comes from, the audience intent, and how to push it with more control. I mean, performance max, as you know, is more of a black box. You don't, where's the spend going? You can see where the spend is going, but you cannot control it as well and segment it how you want to. Performance max is more like rolling a dice. Sometimes you scale and get lucky. Other times you just scale it, you're getting higher CPAs because you're getting just paying more for the same click, so you're getting bad traffic in. We want to segment when we're scaling. We don't want to bet on luck and hope the performance max will just continue with the same ROAS when we double the budget and just be like, yeah, let's double the budget and see if we can have the same ROAS. That's not how we do it, and that's not how I recommend to do it. And then another thing is retargeting. Retargeting is a really overlooked area on Google. Most brands is pushing on retargeting a lot on Meta. Meta is really good for retargeting, but Google, you can also get retargeting to work. This is another area where we see most brands leaving money on the table. They're running display retargeting, or just 1 or 2 generic audiences with their display ads, just a couple of audiences in the display. First thing is, I'll not run display, I'll run demand gen instead. And if you run retargeting, then I recommend that you have more than just a couple of audiences. Go deeper, build specific retargeting audiences based on user actions and timeframes. There's a huge difference in someone who added to cart 3 days ago and someone who, for example, just browsed the homepage 27 days ago. One of them was probably visiting the site for 2 minutes, adding to cart. Maybe he followed off, there was something distracting him. The other one was just click on an ad by mistake, like there's 2 completely different audiences, or he just clicked on an ad, looked through the homepage, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not interested right now, something like that. This is completely different audiences. And again, like someone who purchased, for example, 300 days ago, but has not purchased again, also different message here for him. He bought before. We don't need to introduce him to anything. And the same person who like visited, for example, 27 days ago, just the homepage, we probably need to reintroduce him a bit again to the brand, where, for example, also someone who added to cart 3 days ago, here we probably want to create some urgency, give him a discount code, something like this. We tailor the content offers and creatives for each of these groups differently, and that's why our retargeting ROAS is really, really good here on the clients. We have a very, very high ROAS on all of our retargeting campaigns, which helps a lot with all of our performance. We get more out of our clicks from our top funnel because we know a certain percentage of them will convert again, and brings much more value out of every single click across the account. So my biggest takeaway from this video is try to segment a lot more from your campaigns. If you have something which is working in an account, take it out in a separate campaign. If you're running with lower budgets, which I know a lot of are, which maybe they cannot just take something out of the account and they're like, okay, I only have 20 conversions here in my catch-all campaign. Okay, you don't need to take out your bestsellers in the campaign for a separate campaign and then run 2 campaigns. My recommendation would be just take out everything which is not performing and then only focus on 5% of your products, 10% of your products, and push everything on those. And then when you start to get more volume, then you can launch a new campaign, for example, for the middle sellers and then the zombie products, the worst performing products, these different things. Try to segment a lot more. Try to focus a lot more on top funnel as well on Google. That's actually also where we see really, really good performance. Don't rely on performance max. And when you scale, segment your campaigns a lot more. Like you can scale different categories at one time. You can scale different keywords. You can take out a campaign with just 3 keywords and look into, when you're looking for more top funnel keywords, don't just look at the ROAS, look at the CPC prices, look at the impact on branded search volume, look at how it's affecting your overall performance. Also focus on retargeting. We do a lot of these things different than most brands. A lot of Google Ads people are really, really focused on the data they see only in the account here, where we focus a lot on the backend, of course, as well. The backend is the most important, the backend revenue. If the Google Ads performance is good, but the backend is very bad, then we don't care at all. Of course, we also use the Google Ads here, but we focus a lot on the backend. A lot of this top funnel is not always, we can see it in the Google Ads as well. And when we see it in the Google Ads, it's not going to be easy to see top funnel traffic here. We can maybe see it with the brand search volume, but then you can also think maybe it's because of the other things we did and stuff. Trust the process with it. Have a really, really good tracking on how much volume you're getting on brand, and see, okay, when we 3x the YouTube budget, do we actually see more searches here on the brand? Look at your own account. How many campaigns are running right now? Are you treating all your products, customers, and regions the same? Are you actually in control of scaling, or is it just performance max? Doubling the budget there, hope we get double as many sales. Probably not, because that would be too easy to run Google Ads then. It's a competition, like you're competing against other businesses. If your strategy is just to double the budget when you want to scale, then most likelihood is that you'll not get double the conversions, or you'll probably just end up with like 80% increase in CPA or something like that. All right, that is everything here for this video. If you want to apply for a free Google Ads consultation and a free Google Ads audit, then you can click the link down below. And if you meet our criteria, then we'll get back to you and jump on a call with you where you'll get these different things. But yeah, that is everything from now. If you found any value in this video, then please subscribe to the channel and also drop a like. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic day.